Cha Cha Music Review Podcast.
Cha Cha Music Review Podcast.
Cha Cha Music Review Podcast.
This now Cha Music Review Podcast.
Cha Cha Music Review Podcast.
Cha Cha Music Review Podcast.
Cha Cha Music Review Podcast.
Baby, let's go!
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and members of the Cha Cha Nation. Welcome to another episode of the Cha Cha Album Review Series on the Cha Cha Music Review Podcast. And you already know, my name is Afis Tonova, aka your musical plug, creator of the Energy Force. Today, I have a member of the Cha Cha Geng in the compound with me, and together we will be reviewing this album from Asake, and the album is titled Mr. Money with the Vibe. And without wasting much of your time, let me allow the Cha Cha Geng to introduce himself.
My name is Pak Lokito, 100% music head. I just love my music. I love my albums, and that's it about that. Good music, that's what we do.
Yeah, good music is what we do, and good music is what we talk about on the Cha Cha, Music Review Podcast. So, Pak Lokito, thank you for being, on the podcast today. And without wasting much time, let's go into what we want to talk about. Like I said, we'll be talking about Asake's debut album, which is titled Mr. Money with the Vibe. The album was released on the 18th of September 2022. It has 12 tracks, and it features Burna Boy and Russ. And the album was produced by, Magicsticks. Now, there were 3 singles that were released, of the album. We have Peace Be Upon You, you have Terminator, and you have Sungba, the remix. So let me ask you this. When you listen to the album for the first time, what was your first impression of the album?
When I got the album the first time, I had to do it second time again, because the first time was not enough for me. I was asking for more. I guess my point. I was asking for more, because it's more like when you eat jollof, the first spoon, you go for the second spoon, and go for the third spoon, and now get your final taste, So it was perfect at first taste. But I really loved it. First time, I had to go a second time again. So I was asking for more.
Okay, so on your first listening, it was perfect. You wanted it second time, you wanted it third time, you didn't want to stop listening to it, and it was good.
I'm still listening to it. I still listen to it this morning.
I'm not going to lie to you. I also felt the same way when I listened to the album. On my first listen, I was able to listen to the album all through, and I had to just click on the repeat and just allow the album to just keep flowing, and the album to just keep, going.
The album has a great replay value. You can't just stop listening to it. It has a very, very great replay value. Peace Be Upon You sounds fresh every time you click on play. Same with Terminator, and same with the Sungba remix. It sounds new every other time, so you just want to keep listening to the album. So it's something perfect, like perfect. Kudos to Olamide and his team. This was a perfect one.
Okay, now in terms of the production of the album, there's always been this debate. We can't deny that there's this talk on Twitter like, oh, Asake is one beat man, the same beat all through, blah, 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 blah. And we have Magicsticks responsible for the production of this album. So, what is your take on the general production of the album?
Personally, I feel that Asake and Magicsticks, they've actually found a proper rhythm. It reminds me of the Don Jazzy, the band chemistry back then. You understand? Yes, Magicsticks has been doing it for Asake for a while now, and they found that perfect recipe. So left for me, it's not just it's not a one-way direction album. I personally enjoyed the one with Russ, and I also enjoyed the intro was perfect. So everybody's saying Asake has been dropping on the Amapiano beat, but he has dishes various servings on this album. So it's not just Amapiano all through. So left for me, the album was well done. Magicsticks did a perfect job with Asake, and they delivered the proper 10 over 10 for us.
Okay, like you rightly said, Magicsticks and Asake, they found that synergy and they found that connection. And you rightly pointed out the old Don Jazzy and the band kind of connection, and it also takes me to that that nice and ID Kabasa kind of synchronization.
Yes.
Magicsticks and Asake right now, they are like match made in heaven. Whatever they touch, is perfect, and the production on this album, was rightly good. And when we were talking about, you mentioned the song with Russ, Reason, which is the track 10 on the album, and you mentioned, how much you like that song. And let me ask you, what songs would you say were your favorite song on the album, and what song would you say, you really feel if there is any song like that on the album?
Okay, for me, I would say my favorite at the moment is the intro, Door. For me, it was really short, but I loved it. I actually wanted that song to be longer, you understand, but it was less than a minute, but it was perfect. You get my point, but every other song was really, really good. But for me, I think Sumomi was just something you wanted to put in the album to make up the numbers. You get my point. Apart from Sumomi, every other thing was rightly done. Okay.
So your top song on the album is Doll, and the lead song on the album is Sumomi. For me, I think my best song on the album will have to be track 5, which is Dupe, and also Nzaza. Yes, Nzaza. Those are my two top songs on the album. And
I would want you to listen to Reason again. Listen to Reason again with a proper headphone. You will love it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I love Reason for so many reasons. For so many
reasons.
Exactly.
Did you hear when Russ finished his verse and he just synced into it almost immediately, effortlessly?
Yeah. That was where I was going to go to, because number one, that was one collaboration I didn't see coming. I never expected Russ to be on this. I never expected Russ to be on this album, and that song, just whether we like it or not, yes, there might be the argument of Asake is using Amapiano all through, but he knows what he's doing and he knows how to switch it up and how to blend it up. And at this point, the fans don't care. You don't care anymore. As much as the chemistry, right?
Find the perfect sound and go with it. And he has found the perfect sound.
Yeah, he has found the perfect sound, and that is good. If I'm given an opportunity to say, okay, you know what, just take one song away off this album, what song will you take? Obviously, it will be Sumomi. That's the only song I will take. Not because the song is not good, but I just feel like it's a song that if it's not on the album, you won't feel it. Do you understand?
Of course. Looking at the fact that he has given us 9 or 10 other tracks that have raised the bar. He just give us a watered down track like that. Why you go do this kind of thing? But still, it's a perfect track for somebody that has not raised the bar. I guess for some other artists that haven't raised the bar, it's a perfect track for them. But by Asake standards, I just feel he was being lazy on that particular one.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you 2 questions that we are going to use, to wrap up this. And the first one I feel will be a very easy question, and the second one is probably where my puts you on the spot a little bit. But so the first question is, if you are going to rate the album over 10, what rating is going to be the album and why? Now the second question is going to be, looking at in the last, let's say 2 years, let's just say 2 years, for artists that has dropped their debut album, what ranking will you say Asake falls to? Has it dropped the best debut album in the last 2 years, or is somewhere in between number 2, number 3, or is not even on any list?
For me, I saw a tweet on Twitter. Somebody said this is the easiest 10 over 10 of all albums, and I must concur with that person, because Asake made it so easy. So for me, it's 10 over 10. I can't even argue that it's a 10 over 10. You get my point. 10 over 10, easiest 10 over 10 of 10 over 10s I've ever seen in my life. It's like an assignment that you just go and do it, and he just went home and he just did. The morning before he was going to submit the assignment, and he just gave us a perfect 10 over 10. So for me, I would say if I'm to rank it among debut albums, I would say maybe it's the second for me, as after Fireboy's what's the name of the album? I'm saying it was LG something. I think Love and something.
Yes, Laughter, Tears and Goosebumps.
Laughter, Goosebumps, yeah, and Goosebumps, yes. LTG, after LTG, it is like the second on the past 2 years now, yes. So the second for me, Olamide and his team have been able to find that proper direction for the artists when dropping albums. And I must say that Olamide should stop singing for now, please. Let him focus on these boys. They are the guys that he needs to push out more for us now. So let me just focus on these other guys. Focus on Fireboy and Asake.
Like you rightly said, like Olamide rightly said, if we are to take his social media post by anything, he said that his last album, which is titled Unruly, will be his last album, So maybe
we pray.
Maybe he's also thinking the same way we are thinking, like, you know what, let me just focus on this guy and let me just do what I need to do. And just to since we are on Olamide, just to touch on it. Olamide was the A&R or is the A&R, on this album. Would you say as an A&R, would you say Olamide did a decent job?
He did a very, very good job. I won't say he did a very, very good job because the direction was smooth, smooth direction. Same with Fireboy's album, Playboy, perfect. I can't skip. So for the past for the last two albums from YBNL, they have been perfect. I listen to this album every day. Like they're part of my daily playlists. So I'm not skipping anything for this on this album. I'm not skipping a single track. So for me, I think A&R is the way for him now. Let him just leave the music and let him just focus on research and A&R for these guys.
Like you rightly said, when I listened to this album, I felt to myself, this is probably going to be the easiest album for me to review because there is no way I'm going to say anything short of greatness on this album. It felt like a perfect, selection of songs from Door to Terminator to Organize to Peace Upon You, Dupe Moves, and it was just perfect. Each song carried each energy, and each energy was able to transcend or into the next one. And like you rightly said, it seems like the easiest assignment to give to someone.
Yeah.
Asake understood the assignment perfectly and it delivered, perfectly. And I dare to say this, and I can argue this with anybody that in terms of debut album or even new artists, as much as 2022 is concerned, there is just one person, and that is Asake. There's no other person, that can contest with him as much as this year, is concerned. And so for me, the rating of the album is going to be, a 9/10. It's an album that you must have, on your playlist. Once again, thank you very much, Pak Lokito, for being on the podcast. I really do appreciate.
You're always welcome, bro. Always welcome.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls of the Cha Cha Nation, with that, I have come to the end of another Cha Cha album review series of the Cha Cha Music Review Podcast. Till I come here with another episode, my name will always remain Afeez Tonova, aka your musical plug, creator of the Energy Force. Remember, keep the energy, keep it positive, and keep it 100. Peace out.
Cha-cha time, two time for the Cha Cha Geng. Give me the Cha Cha Geng. Rockin' with the best, Cha Cha Geng. Give me the Cha Cha Geng. Alaye la wa Cha Cha Geng. Give me the Cha Cha Geng. Wati my body, Cha Cha Geng. Give me the Cha Cha Geng. Cha Cha Geng.
What's in my god?